Hi, I'm Daniel and this is Ashville Weekly episode 36. This week there are no trains. Again. The owners of Shalalambus Villa have made some last minute changes. Again. The Ashville fleet faces the big bad low emission zones. Again. And my weekly weekend trim has been moved to Monday this week. Never again. It may not seem like a big deal, but routine is key. Terry, how big is your tackle? A lot bigger. It's a very close bond.
Why is it funny?
It's actually all hands on deck.
It scares the fish, yeah?
Yeah. It's amazing how times have changed. You see me jumping in, shaking the steering, shelling out. I quite like it. Everyone wants to beat tune. Why can't I beat tune? And Noel goes for it front to back. If I can have a go on his bike, I'm gonna let it go. You'll be in trouble pretty quickly unless you have a massive...
Ain't nobody got time for that.
It's 7:15. I'm in the yard. Summertime, nice and bright early. Sprinklers already on, trying to suppress the dust. And we have the road sweeper up and down on the road. Now, everyone else was busy in the yard. All the drivers that we have at the moment are out. By the way, we are looking for drivers. If you are a tipper, grab driver, or a skip driver, holler at us. Just gonna be straight with you from the start. If you live more than half an hour or 45 minutes away and we see your application, long term, it's not feasible. I know it sounds bad, guys, but having to be in this yard every day at just before 6 a.m. and leaving here between 3:30 and 5 o'clock, whatever time you get back to the yard, it's a great job opportunity for someone. We're paying very well. We're paying slightly above market rate, but it will be just too far for you, especially when everybody goes back to work and goes back to school. The traffic will murder you. So we try to find people who live relatively close. As I said in a previous episode, it is good when this much mud gets tracked on the road, it is good to wet it a little bit because it just lifts it. Oh, one of the lads is on the way back in. We go QPR, you love that number plate, innit? Actually, at the moment, we don't go QPR because we can't get into the stadium, other than my maintenance team. In case you didn't know, Ashville will do all the maintenance in QPR Stadium. Speaking of the sweeper, we have MOT'd it. I had the tacho recalibrated the other day. So if anybody did want to rent a sweeper, the sweeper is available for hire. Of course, after we clean our own road. And there is Julia in the distance on her way to work. She sets herself targets from the train station to her power walk her way here. She generally gets a new PB, which is personal best for those of you who don't know. On the M25 at the moment, and this has just made me remember the ultra low emission zone. When the last regulations came in, I was caught off guard. I can't be caught off guard this time. So before I was saying I didn't know and it's not clear. Now it's clear. So before October, I'm gonna have to have a serious think about what I'm gonna do with some of the lorries and vans. But you know, I kind of do it in the way that I assess everything else. I've done myself a little Excel spreadsheet, and on that Excel spreadsheet, I've done new versus old. So put everything, all the expenses of a new lorry, all the expenses of an old lorry, and when you map it out and you see on a monthly basis what that lorry is costing you. So on paper, if you look at an old lorry, you're paying for more diesel, you're paying more maintenance, you're paying charges every day, £100 a day to go inside the ultra low emission zones. And when you look at a new lorry, you're paying less diesel, you're paying less maintenance. Well, you're paying less maintenance depending on the manufacturer that you go for. Well, I'm paying less maintenance on a new lorry, and then you're not paying the daily charges. So at face value, it seems like the older lorries, like they're actually costing you more money. But what you have to really think about at that point, you need to think about the deposit that you got to put down, because then you've got to find a 10 or 20% deposit. And then you have to think to yourself, what happens if I'm not busy? If you've got 10 lorries and they're all costing you $3,000 a month on finance and you're busy and you're flat out, fair play, you're doing well, it's really good. What happens when you're not busy? When you're not busy and you've got 10 of those lorries, you need to find £30,000 for 1 month to pay for those lorries. And if you don't have the income coming in, then, you know, you'll be in trouble pretty quickly unless you have a massive cash reserve. But if you had that much of a cash reserve, would you have just not bought the lorries outright? Looking at it on the other hand, if you had an older lorry Then the older lorry, if you have a problem, you just change your insurance to third party fire and theft. You park up the lorry and you can get the driver to drive something else and you're not shelling out. So it's a catch-22, chicken and egg. Tell me in the comments what you think about new versus old lorries. And probably the last bit to consider with the old versus new lorries, and it's something that you do have to consider because I always say to people, the people who work for you, they're an asset as well. Older lorries, especially manual ones, they're really for more experienced drivers, like people who are good drivers. Like I learned to drive on older manual lorries, so I'm perfectly comfortable with it. There's people driving now who learned to drive on an automatic, and now they just go to firms and drive manual lorries. Me personally, I don't think that you should be allowed to pass your test in an automatic lorry and then drive a manual lorry, especially switching between a high and low gearbox. I don't really see how that can happen, but you know, the rules are the rules, and I'm not trying to do anyone out of work. But you know, if you have a fleet of new lorries and you put new drivers in a new lorry because they're not capable of driving an older lorry, and then your good driver who's been working for you for years, you put him in an older lorry because he can look after it, he feels like he's being punished. Why should your new driver who's been with you years, who's a better driver, be in an old lorry? He's going to look at the new guy who's just turned up, who's in a new lorry, and he's going to say, well, what's going on here? That's not fair. So that's another thing to consider when thinking between old and new lorries. You have to consider the drivers that you have, what they're capable of doing, and how happy or unhappy it's going to make people. Grey, but I went for the black. Yeah. Here we are at Castle Shalalambus. It's actually all hands on deck. This is the extension area where the kitchen's going to be. Now the kitchen is on the way, so all the guys were working here on boarding the ceiling up and plastering all the walls. So this area and the family area over there. In this area, again, we're boarding up and plastering simultaneously. The fireplace is right here, but I'm not going to put the fireplace in yet because I don't want it to be damaged. We've got plenty of other work to do. Now, one of the challenges we had in this area is the amount of detail that's going into the finishing. So we have blinds, which need to be recessed. We have a shadow gap, and we have copper lighting on there. So there's a lot going on in a small space. Stay with me. Here are the blinds. It's like a double material. And ordinarily, these blinds, oh, hold on, what am I doing? What have I done? What have I done here? What's going on? All right, don't worry. Anyway, these blinds, we want to recess these into the ceiling. So this is generally a metal track, what people use. So this fits over the top. This track doesn't work because of the double material and the lack of space. Bearing in mind, we also need to do a shadow gap where the wall meets the ceiling, and we have the lighting to do. So we've had to build something else. Look at this from a side profile. This will go in the ceiling here. Paulson, come here a minute. The blind will fit into this recess, that blind here, and as soon as the blind is in, we'll fit this, and then this will leave a small gap. And when you look at the ceiling, all you will see is the blind coming down. We'll have a shadow gap here, and then at this end, if I spin it round, we'll put plasterboard on this side as well. We'll put our angle bead here, and then our lighting will run here. So this box frame that we're gonna create from moisture resistant MDF will be all the way around this entire area, and it enables us to include all the detail we need. Now, we can't buy anything like this, so we have to buy the materials and build it ourselves. This is the room which was previously our kitchen on the ground floor. We have now started putting down the 90mm insulation and the damp-proof membrane because we're going to prepare this area for underfloor heating. In this room on the ground floor, we're doing the same, damp-proof membrane and 90mm insulation. The rest of the insulation here is what we're going to use in the hallway. If you look at it, you think it's quite dirty. It is, because this is the original insulation that was here, but there's nothing wrong with it, so we're reusing it. But what is more important than that is just, I have been told that Bartek has bought himself a bike. Now, you know, when my staff buy a bike, I need to make sure that the bike is working properly, mechanically, and engineering wise. So let's ask Bartek if I can have a go on his bike. In the front entrance area, remember last week we were putting the steel in place. The steel is now there, the pillars are built up and the pads are in place. The front area is now a lot bigger. We've gone from here to here, and this new opening gives the front area a much more grand feel. Now, I believe Yianni has somebody working on the staircase, and the staircase may come out a little bit further. He now has space to play with to around here because of the entrance, but that small extension at the front has made a massive difference. Get as many pans as you can. There's 2 Ventaxia units in this house. One is on the other side by the downstairs bathroom, and here is the second one. I told you in previous episodes, we have to have 2 manifolds because the pipes cannot get to the other side of the house because of all the steels. In this bathroom, we have begun tiling. Again, another bathroom where we have to cut every single tile. You know, in some larger bathrooms with less detail, you can just put a whole tile on the wall. Here, there is a cut on every single tile. And if we make a mistake and we break the tile, we have to start again.
Good.
Bartek, can I have a go on your bike, please?
You're too heavy.
Too heavy?
Yeah. Wheels are only up to 100. And I'm already over 100. So. No, you can have a go.
Can I have a go, yeah?
Yeah.
Checking out Bartosz's bike, checking out Bartosz's bike. Bartosz said no at first. He tried to say that there's a 200 kilo weight limit on the wheels. Why would he say that? He knows how sensitive I am about my weight. Obviously I could lift the front of this bike up and then do an endo and do a couple of skids, but Bartek is watching. Bartek is watching by the entrance. He's not comfortable with me on his bike. Bartek, why are you watching? What are you afraid of? You are afraid. You look like you're afraid. What are you afraid of? Yeah, you look afraid. Don't worry, Bartek. So I've stopped to get a quick haircut. This is Tahj Cuts, or TJ, as you call him. See it there? And I'm just trying to get a quick trim because I didn't get a chance at the weekend. I've just got a call to say a lorry was in an accident. It's the skip lorry. Nobody was hurt, thankfully. Somebody went into the side of the lorry. I believe it was a lady, and she's being breathalyzed at the side of the road. I'm thankful that everyone's okay. Trouble is, that lorry is damaged, and that lorry is a Euro 6. The other lorries I've waiting around are not a Euro 6, and while I'm waiting for that lorry to be repaired, I'm going to have to pay £100 a day with these ultra low emission zones. So I need to speak to the insurance and see if we can claim that as part of the insurance, or see if we can get a higher lorry, because that's a serious impact on our business. And it hit the lorry at the side, so I believe that the exhaust could be damaged. Some of them exhausts on those new lorries for Euro 6, that could be a 15 or 16 grand exhaust. So it's not something for us to fix, it's something for Scania to fix and communicate directly with the insurance and hopefully get it resolved as quickly as possible, but it's not what you want to hear. But you know, at least, thank God, with technology, I can answer all my emails, I can answer all my calls. Tahj doesn't mind too much. No one's in the barber shop at the moment, so it's cool. Get a trim, get back to the yard and push on with the day. Me and Tahj have been talking for about a year about shaving off my beard. And you know my mum wants to do it as well, but what we were gonna do it in the yard. So we're gonna put a chair in the middle of the yard and we were gonna cone off a section. We're going to put some extensions with some speed bumps over the top of them, and I was going to sit in the middle of the yard and I was going to take my beard off. But I don't really think I'm ready to take the beard off. I'm sentimentally attached to it. What do you think, Tahj?
Yeah, nah, I don't think so.
Tahj doesn't think it's a good look for me to be taking off my beard. It's like,
You look like a little kid.
yeah, he said apparently I look like a little kid. All right, so maybe for now we'll keep the beard, but eventually.
Gradually, you got to come down slowly. You can't just lick it off.
Yeah, okay. So gradually, hear that? The conversations you have with your barber, yeah. You be telling your barber things that you shouldn't really tell him. But it's like with your lorry salesman. It's a very close bond. Oh, that is mad close. Just finishing up my trim. As always, Tahj doing a great job. Now, I look human for this week. I was far too busy at the weekend to get a haircut. I need to get back to the yard as soon as possible. And I think they actually want me out of here because I've had to turn the radio off. And obviously everyone wants to beat tune in the barber shop, but we can't because of the copyright and everything with the sound. So I'll catch you on the rebound at the yard.
I'm not a bully, I'm the opposite.
We speak no lies, Wilson.
So we're in the yard and a couple of things are coming to light. Will, AKA Wilson, who's behind the camera now. Apparently Terry is saying that the bullying has continued and if anything, the bullying has stepped up a gear. So Dan was collecting Will this morning because we had an early start and Will just messaged Dan a time, 6:45. No, thanks for collecting me, mate. See you in the morning. None of that, just 6:45. And Dan said, what's that? And apparently Will sent a picture of his Stone Island jumper and the strong arm emoji. As in, rude boy, I will move to you. You just best be here at 6:45. It's amazing how times have changed. Isn't it, Will? And when I told Will to start filming, he actually refused at first, yeah?
What he said was, his exact words were, I'll start filming when I want to start filming.
If you remember a little while back, I told you I had a meeting in the yard and we were talking to some consultants who were going to make some recommendations. I'm always trying to make things safer in the yard, keep people safe, because at the end of the day, we all want to go home. So one of the recommendations, which I've taken on board and I'm going to do, is this pedestrian walkway. So if you see the yellow barrier here and here, once you're in the car park, you walk along here and we've made these concrete jersey barriers to protect people, to protect cars from lorries. However, having a look at it, they've said that they believe it's too close to where lorries are turning here. Even though I have signs at low level, I have signs in the car park, and I have signs at high levels where drivers can see, which tells everybody to slow down, and they shouldn't be driving faster than 5 miles an hour anyway. They've suggested moving the entrance further down, which means lorries turning can see a lot more, which I completely agree with, and it's better to be safe than sorry. And we're also gonna have to concrete this entire area. Concrete this area, move these yellow barriers, move them to here, jersey barriers, and then we're going to put a zebra crossing here. So we're going to put a zebra crossing and we're going to ensure this is lit, and it means that people can get from the car park to the office area in a much safer way. So when I say this, when I see this, I worry. It's oil. And it's fresh. That's come off someone's lorry, and I don't know why. We need to find out. A couple of weeks back, I told you about some repairs we need to do to the rail line just out where the network rail boundary and the Ashville boundary is. We have a company that's going to do it, but at the moment, all those companies are flat out busy. The company who are going to come and do it, they can't do it until September, but they've written us a letter for Network Rail explaining that they believe that it's still adequate and they will get in here and do it as soon as they can, and they have provided evidence that it's been booked in. So hopefully that covers us and we can keep getting trains in. I am not in the yard, I'm at home. I have a Zoom at 6:30, so I'm trying to accommodate someone in a different time zone. Doesn't matter to me because I'm up nice and early. And it's all right to hang out at the house a little bit. It's very quiet here, and I have access to all our systems and everything on here, so I can catch up on my emails and do anything necessary. Back on this subject of the van and upgrading with the low emissions, I showed you the big van and I'm thinking of what to do with it. And I was thinking of selling it and then getting a new one, guys, but I don't have the time and I can't be bothered for tire kickers to be looking at my van and telling me what my van is worth. Yeah, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. No, you won't, mate. And everybody seems to believe that they are the real life auto trader. So I don't have the time or the patience or the fortitude to do that. So I think I'm gonna have to go to some sort of dealership, give them the vans that we've got. So drive in with one and drive back out with another, because our vans are so specific. We always go for like a long wheelbase. They need to be black, and I always like vans with not the highest brake horsepower, but a relatively high brake horsepower, because for me the engines burn slightly hotter and then you get less problems with the DPF filter. I had a Crafter years ago which was a 109 brake, constantly DPF filter flickering on the dash, then trying to run it on the motorway between 2,000 and 4,000 revs for 20 minutes trying to clear it, going into Volkswagen regenerations. Like, it's just,
ain't nobody got time for that.
It's just a pain. And on the subject of new vehicles, my new car is coming. My Discovery is over 3 years old now, and because of my personal experiences, I don't want to drive a Land Rover without manufacturer warranty. So my vehicle is similar, but not the same. And it's a little bit smaller now, kind of like a little dune buggy. I don't know if any of you can guess what it will be. I should have it sometime next week, and of course I'll share it with you. You've seen over the past few weeks, we keep going through lorries from front to back. Driver will get in the morning, he puts something on his defect sheet, then we park the lorry up, put him into a different lorry. And while we're looking at one thing, we take a good close look. You see me jumping in, shaking the steering, handbrake on, handbrake off, foot brake, and Noel goes through it front to back. So this one wasn't actually going out today, but we thought we'd take a look at it. And when you put your foot down on the clutch, you can just hear loads of air coming out of it. So the clutch booster pack is gone, but that's relatively simple. Now, I used this the other day in the yard, and I turned the switch to turn the revs up on the crane. And when I turned the switch up, the revs didn't turn up. So one of the drivers hasn't said a word about it, because what he's doing, he's using the stalk in the cab to up the revs. So Noel is trying to fault find. Initially, straight away, we thought it might be the switch, but it's not. Then there's a box on the side. We thought maybe there's water in the box. It's not. So Noel's doing a bit of fault finding, trying to find why the revs aren't working up at the crane. You can get away without it, but it's one of them things. I like to have all the lorries in perfect working order. So, and Noel hates chasing wires on DAFs. The man hates it. So he's got a bit of a head on him today. So he calls it, what do you call it, Noel? Whispering sweet things of my name. What do you call it? He calls it sweet whispers, using bad words with my name in the... Pardon? No, doesn't use bad words. He calls it sweet whispers. That's when he's cursing my name. You'll remember last week, I showed you the bucket for the 8-ton machine, and we bought a cutting edge for it. Well, that is repaired and back on the machine. Let's go and take a look at how that's working. And what we're gonna do, the spare bucket for that, we're now gonna repair that, because you always need to have one bucket standing by waiting in case something happens with the one you're using. Flo's just come over here and reported a problem. The pipe which is coming out of the tank, which is leading over to the silo, which fills the water into the volumetric lorries, the pipe has just snapped here. So we need to fix this immediately, otherwise we won't be able to load any of the concrete lorries coming into the yard. That is not what you want on a day like today, or furthermore any day. So the boys are gonna get on this straight away. This takes precedent over the lorry and everything else. This has to be fixed immediately before anyone goes home or does anything. You can see the bucket back on, looking good, looking strong. You can see the cutting edge on it and the bosses. So while this one is working away, we're gonna fix the other one. And while I'm standing here, I've just noticed one of the boys like this. Sometimes I think I'm not giving people enough work. We have an artist at Ashville. And once again, nobody knows who did it, Dan. Let me show you this piece of art, which I believe it was Flo. You know, I'm gonna level with you. I believe it was Flo. So, the Ashville Phantom Artist, which is a mix between Picasso, Michelangelo, and that is the full extent of my artist knowledge. They have managed to find some spray paint from somewhere and spray paint my lovely concrete blocks. I mean, I'm happy that they're taking that much of an interest in the company. And, you know, of all the things they could have wrote, you know, they could have done a heart and wrote something about their missus or something like that. But they chose to write this, so I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. I quite like it. Here we are at Castle Shalalambus. I was in the area and I was told the swimming pool was here. So I thought I would pop in. And there it is. Luckily I have this pocket cam. And there is the swimming pool, which is 6 meters by 2.8, I believe. I've got a camera team here with me. So Dudek is going to be my cameraman. Let's see how that works. Here we are in the swimming pool. I can see the jets all around the inside of it. We've got some steps here. So I believe when you're chilling, you sit on the steps and you just hang around here. But when you're swimming, I believe the jets send all the water. No, there. The jets send the water that way. And I believe you have to swim against it this way. See the techers there. No, the other way. Okay, Dudek's nodding, it's the other way. All right, cool. All right, we have to swim this way. See my techers there. Daniel Phelps, yes. But Pool's come well, and what we're doing with the pool, we're lifting the pool over the house tomorrow. But unfortunately, guys, that's going on Yianni's channel because it's Yianni's pool and it's Yianni's house. But I will be here supervising, taking part. Let me see if I can jump in the pool and be in it while they lift it over. Even though that's a massive health and safety risk, maybe I won't do that. Look at all these. Do we like it?
Yes, we like it.
And guys, before you all jump on it and say something, I did take my boots off and I'm in my socks before people start saying,
Daniel's disrespecting Yianni's new swimming pool.
So guys, thought I'd pop in quickly, gonna leave site now. Got loads to do. It's Friday. It looks like it's threatening that it's gonna rain, but it hasn't rained yet, so I'm gonna get back on the road. Michael, my brother, you
look a lot older
than me.
What's happening out there?
Not a lot. I was in your neck of the woods. I was at the Sticker Man's house earlier. What's going on with all the traffic around there, man?
It's every night of the week. So how's the Sticker Man's house getting on?
Sticker Man's house is going all right. Sticker Man's swimming pool's going over. So when the swimming pool's in, I'll ask Sticker Man if you can come for a swim.
I've got a pair of Tottenham Speedos then. Got a little cockerel on one side.
I'm sure that
cockerel the other side, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah, I prefer not to see you in that. We'll have an old shindig, as you call it. So some fella interviewed your sister, and it's done loads of views on YouTube. I'd like to know a fella like that who interviews people and does stuff like that.
I'm not like you to swan off around the country. I've got to stay on guard. I'm on guard 24/7.
What are you talking?
5 in the morning.
Mate, what are you talking about? You're probably not even in tomorrow.
The day you proceeded to come to me was the day I had a couple of site meetings. I couldn't tell you about the site meetings, but you'd have probably followed me to the site.
What are you doing?
I'm going home.
You see, what's the time? I got a skip video. I know you think that you do skips, but I got a skip video that's about to hit 1 million views. And apparently, I think I should put you on my weekly show, see if my numbers go back up, because they went down a little bit. Well, the skip video, the numbers are going up, but the weekly, it's going down a bit. So now I've got you on here, like, hopefully my views will go up.
Of course they'll go up.
What do you mean, of course?
I'm a legend in my own mind.
In your own mind or your own right?
Yeah, in my own mind.
You look older than me.
Tell my cousin Noel I was asking for him.
I will tell Noel that you were asking for him. I will tell him.
All right, mate. I'll catch you later. Have a good weekend, mate.
You too, mate. See you later.
Cheers, now. Bye.
Michael O'Donovan is always great value, especially when you're sat in traffic. Back in the yard, Friday afternoon. Cam has actually straightened up because Cam generally doesn't sit like that. He sits with his spine looking like a question mark. But Cam, show us how you normally sit, even I'll tell you.
I normally sit like this, like how I should sit.
No, that is precisely not how you sit. Why don't you show us how you sit? Just show us how you sit. Just S your spine a little bit for us, yeah. That's how Cam normally sits, yeah, so, but he saw the camera and he's fixed up how he's sitting. Even though, let me just expose, these are the best office chairs there are.
Mine sinks itself though. Mine decides to.
What's going on here? What's going on?
Lose and just drop down.
See if you can comment below and tell me the name of these chairs, but these chairs are the best office chairs you can get. Obviously the staff here treat really well. We have fresh cold water here, we have air conditioning. You are living life, aren't you, Cam?
I am, indeed.
Indeed. And Terry tried to kind of give me a gesture but stitch me up. Terry made an order because he thinks he's hench and he ordered himself a Ralph Lauren top in XXL large. Yes, he did. But Terry is not a hench man. And it turns out nor am I. Because it's far too big for me. So it's too
Don't
big.
say that.
It's too big for me.
I threw the receipt away.
Terry threw the receipt. But here it is, Terry bought it and Terry said, just give me 50 quid.
It's a £100 jumper.
Yesterday it was 90, today it's 100.
Wow,
yeah.
see? It's inflation.
So Terry tried to palm this off on me for me to take it and tried to say that I just have to owe him 50 quid. Well, Terry, on camera, I'm giving it back to you.
Oh, I've thrown a...
I apologise, it's too big. Obviously, lost a couple of pounds and the power is back.
There's something wrong with my keyboard.
There's something wrong with this keyboard.
Yeah, it is. Look, the caps lock light is on and the keyboard switched off. And it keeps copying and pasting everything. Something wrong with this thing, man.
You're saying what, it's working too fast? It's not used to working that fast. Is that what it is?
That's not what I'm saying. It's actually not what I'm saying, no.
It's actually not what he's saying, no.
You're looking kind of skinny.
Jules, say that again. Jules said the man looks like he's trimming down, but she said it in her language, which is you're looking kind of skinny. Obviously, I'm not looking mager. Obviously, I'm still looking hench.
Mager
but
like
some
dog.
of the weight has come. Terry had to add his 2 pence worth. Say it again, Terry. What was that?
Mager like dog.
Yeah, he said, I'm not mager like dog. Yes, no, I am not mager like a mongrel dog. But obviously the weight is coming off bit by bit. Isn't it, Cam? because my chair isn't dropping, unlike yours. But Terry likes to go fishing, and he's got himself a little barbecue, and he goes outside and he talks about his tackle. Terry, how big is your tackle? How big is your tackle?
Oh, it's massive. What's funny?
Apparently Terry goes fishing and stays out at night with his big tackle. And he has a little barbecue and he goes cooking sausages. Don't you, Sal?
That's it, mate. That's what we do.
However, as they say, we don't believe you, you need more people. So, Terry, I would like to maybe accompany you on a fishing trip. I'm not sleeping outside.
Yeah.
Rough, yeah?
We said, what, Daniel, we'll book a week in France or something?
No, we won't book any week in France. No. We will go to the normal lake, the cloudy lake where you normally go, and we will sit on the side in the mud as you normally do, and we can... Have you got like some sort of thing that you put on the floor? Obviously, I don't want to sit in the dirt and all that. Have you got like a chair or something?
A chair? Well, how long are we going for?
Oh, we'll just go on a day. We'll just go on a Saturday or a Sunday.
What, Saturday, yeah?
No, not a Saturday. You're at work. We'll go on a Sunday. You can teach me how to fish.
If we go for a day, Daniel, I just don't take a chair, mate, generally.
You don't take a chair?
Just sit on a bucket or something.
You sit on a bucket?
Why is it funny? You've got to travel light.
Sit on a bucket? I'm not going to lie to you. I want authenticity, but I really don't want to sit on a bucket. I don't
If
fancy...
you go for a day, I don't bother taking a chair, generally.
You don't take a chair if you go for a day?
No, not if I go for a day.
So how many days do we need to go for me to have a chair?
Probably minimum 2.
2 days? And that's when you have a chair? Right, and what about bringing the barbecue and all that?
Yeah, probably 2 days as well.
2 days? Is there any way we could squeeze it into a day?
Wait, you want me to bring a chair and a barbecue for a day trip?
Yeah. What am I going to eat? It's the most pointless thing. I fish and then I've got to put the fish back. Like, I can't even eat the fish.
All right, Daniel, we'll arrange something.
I'm going to go fishing with Terry. He is going to bring me a chair. He will sit on a bucket. He will bring the barbecue and he will barbecue sausage and he will bring his big tackle.
You have to travel light. That's the problem, though. You're kind of travelling a bit light these days.
I'm kind of see that. I'm travelling a little bit light. See this? Compliments will get you everywhere, rude boy. Yeah. So you heard it here first. I am going fishing with Terry. When you go fishing, do you have like a different name? Is there like an alter ego? Do you become...
No, I don't turn into like some sort of fishing superhero. No.
Yeah, no. Okay,
I don't have like a WWE wrestler or something. No, I don't know one of them.
You know, when I go somewhere, I like to wear the clothes.
Is that what you do?
Like, so when I go...
see the day you went shooting, yeah, I see that day.
The day all right, they're still talking... All right, this
Ashville story time.
No, it's not Ashville story time. All right, cool. I went shooting, so I had a pair of trousers on and a tweed blazer and a pair of Wellingtons. All right, so no problem. So what clothes should I bring? What clothes should I bring? Is there like special fishing attire to wear?
No, not generally. Generally, just try and wear something green.
We're going fishing and we're going to wear green, and Terry will stay there for the night and he will sleep in the tent and make sure no one messes with his tackle overnight. But what happens if you're sleeping but your fishing rod's still there?
Yeah, you learn about all of this, son.
Do you always catch something?
No. No, unfortunately not, no.
Let me get this straight. You dress up in your army fatigues, you go there, you cook for yourself, you sleep rough, and you take all your gear, and we might not even catch anything.
Yeah.
Right. Can we bring a radio?
You can bring a radio. You can't like go beat tune on that. But yeah,
Why can't I beat tune? It scares the fish, yeah?
Yeah. You're hunting wild animals, Daniel. That's the idea.
Yes, wild animals in a lake in Slough. Yes, wild animals, yes. Exotic ones, tropical ones, yes. Right, you heard it here first. I'm going fishing with Tahj. I am going fishing. Oh, they're going to rinse me about Treasure. Sean Connery, sucker and sucker. Look how they're ribsing. One wrong pronunciation, they're proper rinsing. One wrong pronunciation.
See, look, he spoke about trying to be James Bond before. Look, he's trying to get his...
Sean Connery.
Shaken, not stirred.
Yes, exactly that. Anyway, it's Chief. Anyway, we're getting fishing. Cool. Give back my mic, man. You gasser, man. In the office, really happy with how it's going. Polished plaster looking good. Now the wallpaper is going to go on the walls tomorrow. Once the boys have put the wallpaper on, we can put the rest of the sockets and switches. The desk is here, but the desk needs some filling and sanding to be done to it before it goes in place. However, you can't do wallpaper and fill in sanding here at the same time because the dust will interfere with what you're doing. Speakers all in place, looking good. The kitchen units, the doors are on. These are the doors we made ourselves and got sprayed. Downstairs in the kitchen, I showed you before, we have the dishwasher and the under unit fridge. My dishwasher and my under counter fridge have both arrived. The worktop is also ready. The worktop is going to be installed next week at some point. And in the bathroom, it is looking good. My bathroom cabinet is over there. The mirrors are here for my bathroom cabinet as well. Toilet's in, shower tray's in. My office is nearly ready at long last. I'm at Castle Shallalambus and Mr. Shallalambus is here. The pool is going over the house, but this is a standalone video which is going to be on Yianni's personal channel, the one with no logo. Click here to watch that video now. When's that going to be out, Jan?
Saturday.
Next Saturday?
Next Saturday.
So you know Ashville Weekly.
When's this video coming out? Sunday?
Next Sunday.
So the video's already out?
But the video's already out.
It came out yesterday?
It came out yesterday, so watch the video that came out yesterday. It's going to be on Yianni's channel. There's plenty to do here, guys, so gotta go, and I'll see you back at the yard. That's it for Ashville Weekly episode 36. At the Meet the Shallalambus reality show film set, we now have shadow gaps galore and a shiny swimming pool. As if we didn't have enough problems with lorries, we now have a drunkard accident. And Ashville have discovered they have their very own Banksy. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to see a video of us lifting Yianni's swimming pool over his house. And click here for last week's episode, which was number 35. Are you not into trains?